And this has always been a judgment manifestation of teaching that puts people immediately into judgment of others, immediately into judgment of themselves. And what happens with judgment comes absolutely horrible communication skills, which English being an equivocal language, go look it up, but I'll just tell you it means every word has two meanings, and it's usually used to cause cursive. That's why you see in the language they talk about writing in cursive, but that will be another show. But anyways, you become conscious. In Hebrew it means as expansion. I'm reading a little bit. This would actually be connected to also something I've talked about, learning techniques, manifesting techniques, learning. It's almost like when you need tools to go make adjustments to any kind of, we're living in a real digital age. I had got this new camera, this GoPro, and it doesn't come with any really directions or any, to me, it's not the old school where you get this big book, this big letters that tells you A, B, C, D what to do. Right, which is really technical techniques for you to use like tools. We need to have tools in our quantum physics. A lot of these are tools. So the awareness is to see, like for me, when this aspect of go home, I took it immediately, went home and went into deep dive within myself. A little bit within the last week and a half with the whole thing that's happened with the protest in George Floyd, it kind of spun me a little bit because I started looking outside myself more, and then I had a billion things to do, which I wasn't giving attention to the breath as much. Then I noticed, but I took these tools and was like, okay, I see when this happened, it took me kind of outside my game, and then I noticed immediately. This is something I noticed. Take note of this if you felt it, and more. One day you're going to see, and maybe in the future you'll go, man, I understand what you meant by that. Was it let me see things I had to tweak in myself because it allowed me to kind of just linger out of the temple a little bit and kind of look at the circumstances given. Notice this isn't a reality that we're a part of it, but if we don't understand the reality we're helping create by the attention we give to it, we won't really understand what's going on. If you kind of look at that. So think about that. So what I was able to see within myself is kind of tweak that this took me outside myself, right? It took me outside myself. It did. So then I noticed that this is what I noticed. The big thing was my synchronicity got off by a step. My synchronicity was not flowing like it had been recently. My synchronicity was kind of missing the turns. It wasn't lining up. And then I started seeing things that I needed to do something. When it was I needed to do this, it would hit a wall and I would need to do something else to go through it to get something else done. Where before I noticed when I was staying true to the breath, going within, being the mainstay of what I'm doing, being the most important thing, because it's really the only thing I have power for. And it's really where you creating, if you create a new reality, believe me, the collective will connect to it because they want a new reality. A lot of the stuff that we're seeing, and this isn't going to be a governmental, thing completely because it's not about breath, is that the reality we've been given isn't a reality we created, but we did it to participate in it unknowingly because we didn't understand ourselves. Because you participate in, all of us do. But if we start learning to create on our own and not come outside our space, because really everything in this reality given to us, it's relied upon by our attention. Take that attention and give it to yourself because you're the one that counts. And then that creativity by those who are doing it will create a collectiveness to the others, and they start waking, or they start being creators themselves. And then you get a lot of people start waking up to themselves, and because a lot of people in the conscious community are waking and are awake to themselves, but there's still a lingering fact of the matter is still division there, because really what's coming to bring the unity into it. And remember, these cats in the system is really good at putting operatives in, even in the constant community, but they did it in the denominations. Believe me, if you don't understand that the Jesuits were able to go into these Protestant churches and they infiltrate governments, churches would be a cakewalk, just being honest. You throw a little money at them, or you throw a good amount of money at them, you can cakewalk them all day. But anyways, so you start looking at this. The dimensional part of ourselves would be you can call it quantum. You can call it quantum physics, and we're giving quantum physics tools. What I mean by that is we're giving tools, and you got to be aware to use these tools. I was seeing this week, like I said, I had a tool. I seen by me giving attention to something outside of myself and not as much. And then I had other things I was doing, man. I was doing all my equipment for this aspect, got a lot of my attention. Some of the stuff I was doing in some of the classes I'm taking wasn't given the attention. And then I wasn't giving the attention like I usually do to the breathing into the meditation. And then I said, aha, I've been out of myself, not going within on myself. And also what came out of that was a little bit of not being synchronized with myself in things I was doing. They were getting kind of stuck. And then I was having to make another move just to try, that would take maybe hours. It will take a trip to go to somewhere that maybe I could have prevented if I'd have stayed my course. Remember that. You got to know how to drive your ship. Stay your course to yourself. If you leave, take your eye off the mask, the flow of the wind may go the way not intending it to go. But quantum physics. So I'm going to leave you with this. The breath, the relationship, and the elevation of yourself, and the connection of all three into one. But also this. I believe that we got to walk in mysterious ways. Meaning that word mysterious has the word mist before it. If you have the mist and people can't really monitor your mysterious ways, they really can't be ahead of you. A lot of what we see happening by the system is staying a step or two steps ahead. But what if we quantum leap, those who have that consciousness, and we just leap a few steps ahead? Hear what I'm saying? They will always be behind you. They will always be behind you. This is D-Boy from West Coast Uncensored. You guys have a great day.